Ladies and gentlemen, her.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in today's video, I have a special guest.
Hello.
My friend Anjola, and we're going to be recreating my graduation makeup look. If you guys remember from my vlog, she is the one that beat my face. So I just brought her here to, show you guys the process and the glam for that day. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. We're going to get right into the makeup.
Bear in mind, I'm not a makeup artist. I'm just doing makeup
Honestly,
I do makeup.
But like, you did a good job.
Thank you.
It's always, I always like it when other people do my makeup, because I was not going to do my makeup for that day. I wanted to look like extra, but like still very subtle. If you guys know what I mean.
Okay, then first I usually start with using a hydrating primer. Not sure if you can see that. But it's a Laura Mercier Pure Canvas Primer. It's a hydrating primer. Okay. Yeah, and Shira kind of has dry skin, so if you have dry skin, it's not a necessity, but I mean, it's not gonna make you oily or anything. So, what's important is the prep before the makeup. If you don't prep your skin well before you start doing your makeup, then you're going to have some issues. The OG primer, like if you don't have this, you need to get it. Whether you have oily, dry skin, whatever. It doesn't really add oil to your skin, but it makes your makeup stay on for long hours. Like, just try it if you haven't. You can buy like
So 2 primers?
Yeah. So this one's hydrating. It doesn't really help your makeup stay in place, but this one does. Like, it does a great job. You can buy like the trial size and try it for yourself, and you won't be disappointed. I promise you. Okay. And then, if you find that you have oily T-zones, like very oily T-zones, maybe avoid the hydrating primer in your T-zones. But with this one, I would say just put it everywhere, because it doesn't really make your face oily or add more oil to your face, but yeah, your makeup will stay in place, I can guarantee you that. Okay, great.
This is so interesting. Like, makeup is very interesting because I literally just have one primer.
People do their makeup differently, but I prefer to do skin first before I do like brows and eyes. Sometimes if I'm trying to go for a dramatic look, probably do eyes first, because that way you might have a lot of like color everywhere. And it's probably better to do that first. But then if you're not doing anything too dramatic, like what I'm doing in Cher's face, it's just like a nude brown. Yeah. Just
I didn't even tell them what I wanted. So like for my glam, I just wanted something natural, right? How did I describe it to you? Just something natural, not too much. I wanted like a noticeable type of eyeshadow, but not too dramatic, right? Because I was wearing a simple black dress, so I didn't want my makeup to be doing more than my dress, right? If that makes sense. So I just told Angie to make my face based on that.
Okay.
So
basically, after doing most of the skin prep, Shira has kind of dry skin, so I'm not going to use a mattifying primer. Usually with people that have oily skin, I'd go for, if you have really oily skin, this is like a good mattifying primer for your T-zones. So yeah, I tend to go for this one. She has pretty much dry to normal skin, so yeah, that's enough. Okay, and then since I've done the skin prep, I'm just going to set her brows in place, and I'm using this Benefit 24-hour brow setter. It's really good. Your brows will stay in place, I promise you that.
actually, it really did.
So, and we're kind of going for like feathered brows, so I'm just going to basically brush it up for now.
Which is different from the brows I normally do.
Yeah. Chino usually does like a solid brow, so.
Out of my comfort zone.
Yep. Perfect. Okay, that is done. So this is the foundation that we use. It's the Dior Backstage foundation in the shade 810. I'd say it's a little darker than her shade, but usually when it's better to use a darker foundation than to use one that's lighter, because that way you can always balance it out with a lighter concealer. So, and bear in mind this is a really light coverage concealer, like really light coverage. So, and we didn't want to do something too heavy, so we just went with that. So one trick that I would give is, if you want your makeup to actually stay on for long hours, one thing I always do is spray my brush with setting spray. Not too much, just a little, just to put it on, and it definitely helps. Well, I think it does help. So first I am going to put some foundation. Bear in mind this is really, like, it's really liquid, so you have to be careful. Yeah, last time some of it spilled, so we're trying not to let that happen today.
Because I already made time.
Okay, we'll just do the rest as we go. Okay, perfect. And then, yeah, I'll just spray the brush. Just a little spritz, and then we'll blend this out.
She does feel great.
Yeah. I usually go over the eyes just really lightly with the brush, just a good base for everything else we're gonna put on. It's a little dark, but
It's a little dark, but it's not too, like, it's not terrible.
yeah. And then this is just a regular Real Techniques buffing brush.
I usually use a beauty blender for my foundation. Well, I mix, to be honest. It depends. Right now, I feel like I don't have a steady foundation brush.
And usually what I do is, after going with the brush, I just go in with the beauty blender just to tap things into place. The brush does a pretty good job. But one thing I've found is beauty blenders tend to suck in product. So I'd rather first blending with a brush and then going with beauty blender. So yeah, just doing just that, just touching up everywhere. And of course, use a damp beauty blender. Don't use a dry beauty blender.
Why is it better to use the damp?
Well, I just find, honestly, I can't give you definitely use it, but I just find it blends better. Like a dry one, you're just gonna feel like it's just sprinkling against your skin and taking away all the product. But with this one, it tends to like just put things into place. So let's see. So Shira and I are pretty much the same shade. You might not see that, but I think we are. So one thing I usually do is, I find this, so this is the Born This Way, Too Faced Born This Way concealer. If you don't have this, you should get yourself one. You should. It's like,
just giving me lessons, yeah. It's so much to buy.
it's really the best. Like, it could be kind of like full coverage. It's definitely not light coverage at all, but it blends seamlessly, like so good. So this shade is a little lighter. Like, I would use this concealer shade. This is the Cocoa shade. If I was just trying to go, just makeup quite simple, not too much. But because we wanted the makeup just not to be flat, we didn't want it to be flat, so I went in with Cocoa, and then going with Toffee is just like a lighter base. It's good to two different colors. So this is Cocoa, and then this is Toffee. Not a little, but a good amount.
One thing I love about makeup, especially just on dark skin, is how, like when you're watching, I don't usually watch makeup videos, but when I do, I always like how people concealer, and it looks like, wow, like this is such a light shade, and then they blend it so seamlessly.
Yeah, like if you my shade into your shade, this color is probably the best shade of concealer I would say for you. If you don't want to go, if you're not doing something too dramatic. So, like I said, I prefer to go in first with a brush whenever I'm blending anything in before I go in with a beauty blender. So just as usual, go in with a brush and then just spritz in the brush with setting spray. Just a little bit of it. Okay. I usually like to start with other areas before I go in the middle because like under the eyes, because it's usually better if it's like a lot more. Leave it on for a bit, basically, that's what I'm saying. And make sure to do around your smile lines, so just around the lips. Before I go under the eyes, I'll just spritz it a little bit more. Used up all of it. Just gently, like don't just like blend like that. Tap it in. Definitely does help, and helps the product not waste out to you. Make sure you blend it and there's no like harsh lines anywhere. Under the eyes where you have creases, make sure like you're actually blending it in. Okay. And like I said, I'm gonna go in with the light concealer. Show you if you actually want to do makeup that stands out. Definitely make your under eyes brighter. So after blending that out, I usually go in with the lighter one, and I already said it's the Toffee, the Too Faced Born This Way Concealer in Toffee, and I just put it just at the beginning. Like, I don't spread it all the way out, like I spread out the first one. So just a bright tint. And usually I will just put it on the nose as well. I don't do too much with the forehead, maybe just a dot. There. But I mostly focus it under the eyes. Because first, as you can tell, the foundation is a little darker, so you need to actually balance everything out. So. And then I usually just blend up the forehead and like the top of the lip, and then I leave the one under there to actually sit for a while. And then my best part, contour. No matter how simple a look is, for me, I always contour. I probably make it light if I'm wearing like light makeup, but I always have to contour my face. So either with a contour cream or I just use a bronzer, but the definition has to be there because I really don't like flat makeup, just personal preference. And to contour, I'm gonna use the Fenty matchstick. Fenty matchstick, you probably can't see what. In ebony, so the shade is ebony.
And you guys, please forgive us if we keep looking this this way. We're trying to, because we can see ourselves in the camera mirror. So yeah, that's where we're looking. Just so you know.
Perfect, and yeah, that's just it. That's what the color looks like. It's very brown. And then I like using this brush. It's a core brush. I think I picked it up from the chocolate straw markers. Yeah, it's really, I love the color. Oh my god. It's like a marble. Yeah, it's really nice. Okay, so what I do first is I'll just put it just a little. Well, not a little. Enough. And the forehead, not too much. And then under the chin. And then usually I don't, sometimes I do, but just a little, like on the nose. Depends on how much definition I want, so just a little bit there. And I usually do like the bottom, it's just right there. So. Yeah. And as usual, spray your brush if you want everything to last. Okay. And then now we blend. And with this, like just like every other when you apply it, don't brush it, like actually tap it and blend it in. That way it goes in seamlessly. You don't get any harsh lines. And I like to blend it a bit over the jaw, like not the jawline, the contour, natural contour line, because the concealer is still going to spread out anyways. Blend out everywhere with the contour. Blend out the forehead, make sure you blend it out very well. Blend it in and just tap it preferably. That way you see how under eyes have bright.
This is the part that confuses me. Because I always want to contour my nose, but also do like this method of concealer. So I'm like worried about the concealer like going into.
Yeah. I'd say the trick for that is I just make sure the contour is there first, and then I blend out the concealer, and then I go back in with the brush, just like, to just get the definition back. Or like, yeah, like what I'm doing now, I'm first blending out the concealer, then I would blend out the contour, then before I blend out the bottom of the nose. That way you still have all of them still balanced there. Blend out the nose contour. This one you have to be careful, especially when you're using a wide brush like this for your nose. Preference, you can get a slimmer one. I just usually go with this. Works for me. And one thing I also do is I blend the contour into, like the nose contour into like the I don't know what to call that.
Like eye teeth.
I don't know what to call it.
Oh, the makeup terminology.
Yeah, just right that way. That way you actually see like the definition is there. Just blend it in. Okay. And then after that, I now actually go in with the brush to blend up the nose concealer. Okay, great. And as usual, just go back in with the beauty blender and just make sure everything is sitting. Skin work is important, I'm telling you. It makes your... One thing I've noticed is usually when I start my brows first, I stress so much. But then I realized that when I started doing skin first, it's like once your skin comes into place, like even if your brows don't match, trust me, you won't even notice it. That's my theory. I mean, obviously, still try to make your brows look like it's just presentable. Like they say, your brows should don't have to look like twins. They can look like sisters, not cousins. I think that is all set. And make sure you have no harsh lines. And one thing I usually do after I've blended everything in, it's kind of like a reverse contour. But obviously don't put more concealer, if not you're just gonna look like, I don't know what to call it, but just to burn it. Yeah. Just the leftover. Just remove the contour one, just to give more definition. So now that we've done that, we set. Because you don't want your makeup creasing up. Once you have makeup not set for a while, you start to see creases. And usually I just go back in with the same beauty blender I use. And what I'm using today is the Mercier setting powder. This is the translucent medium D. Usually if I'm going for a more dramatic look, like I'm going out, I'll use the honey. It's like the newest release. If you haven't tried that, you should. But usually, medium blend is usually good enough to brighten. So I'll just tap it in.
I'm scared to see it on my tongue.
Try it.
I mean, it is what it is.
So you just tap it in. That's what I do. I usually just tap it in. I don't bake. I mean, I put a good amount of setting powder and leave it there. If you call it baking.
Do people still even do that?
Yeah, people still bake.
Like they just leave the
Powder, like a little powder on there. Mine, I just tap it in. Like if you look at it, like it's not a lot of product just sitting on there. Like I tap it into the skin so that it does brighten, but then it's not doing too much, so you don't get too much flashbacks. Take pictures.
Yes, because I know you mentioned something about, because I did some portrait shots and there were some flashes, right? So you mentioned something about like not having
Flashbacks, yeah. So that's another reason you need to blend your concealer and make sure that whenever setting powder you're using, you're not using too much powder. And I usually just tap it in. That's not just sitting on top of your face.
What is flashback for the people who's that?
Basically, I'm sure you've seen some pictures. Where people take, they have makeup on and then all you see is just bright. Like that's all you see in the face. Like that's what you see.
And that's the result of one bad application, bad concealer application, and two, you say it's the fault of the flash. Well, I mean, like generally, it's just bad concealer application.
Yeah,
right?
bad and like setting powder too. Like if you're putting too much setting powder, or if you're like really dark, I'd say if you're like dark skin like we are, or really dark, probably using this shade or the actual translucent one. But the translucent one, basically you're just getting the same color of what you put on your face, pretty much. This one's like, these ones definitely brighten. Okay, so now that that is done, just set here a little bit more. As you can see, the contour line is still there. And actually just a little more to set this area. I usually like to spread out the setting powder at least a little bit because I'm still gonna put some contour over it. So right now it might be looking a little flat. Just like you set your concealer, you have to set the contour because it's cream. Like if you only use contour powder, then yeah, it's basically powder. But we use basically cream, so you have to set anything as cream. Well, at least that's what I do. Some people might tell you it's not necessary, but I think it is. So what I'm using today is the Revolution Glow Splendor Ultra Matte Bronzer, sorry, in the shade Deep. I think they have like Deep Dark and then Deep and then there's another color. But anyway, yeah, so this is just what it looks like. It just says glow. And yeah, and basically this has a lot of like lift-offs or fall-offs as you call it, fallouts. So I always, and it's really dark. So I just, after taking some off, I just dust it off that way. That way you're not getting too much butter. At least if it's not enough, you can always build, right? If it's not enough, you can always build. It's better than just having too much and it would not be hard to correct. So, like I said, we're just setting the concealer. So we set where we put the, sorry, not the concealer, the contour. So I just put it a little bit more into the cheeks. I don't like to put too much contour powder on the forehead. Anjola has a pretty small forehead, I'll call it.
Like serious?
Yeah, like I wouldn't say it's a small forehead, but like your forehead space is not a lot because of your hair, right? Yeah, compared to me where like it spreads all the way across, so like I get to, but yours is just like because of your hair. So and yeah, usually I just don't put a lot of contour powder. I just usually put leftover from cheeks there. And then, of course, do not forget, that's not contour powder. Also under the chin. I'm trying to get to the top. No, I usually just do it lightly. And then, one thing I don't do is I usually don't put the contour powder like to blend the, to set the loose contour because it's harsh. So, I mean, you don't want to go out looking like you have literally like a brown line on there. So, one thing I also do is basically the same two brushes, but I usually use one for contour, one for bronzer. Of course, mine is a little beat up, but it's the Fenty Sun Stopper Bronzer. Mokamami, the OG. Like, period. I feel like anyone could use this. I mean, if you're lighter skin, you probably have to use a little and then build. Yeah. But with us dark skin,
Riri knew what she was doing.
she definitely.
So I'm not a makeup person, and I was actually really impressed by this bronzer. Yeah, and I like that it has kind of a red undertone to it as well, because I feel like even with my makeup, my skin has like a red undertone, so that's like a perfect bronzer.
She definitely knew what she was doing when she did this. So I mean, because we're dark, I really don't care. I use a lot, just so it shows up. So a lot. I like tap it in, and then basically same as where we put the contour, but just a little above. So usually the contour is just like here, but with the bronzer, I use both on the contour line and just a little into the cheeks. Yeah. I mean, right now it probably looks a little red, but I promise you it would look normal after we're done. Okay, same thing. And I just take it lightly, not too much. Then I go. That way it's not too harsh. Yeah. And don't forget to put it in the bottom of your nose as well. Just right under the apple there. Great. Come in place. Okay. So that's the precisely my brow pencil in shade 4.5. And that's what we're gonna be using to fill it in. It's not really dark. I don't like my brows too dark, so I usually just go for something light. Okay, the brows are stiff and in place. So that's why with the brow setter, don't go too heavy. Might have gone a little heavy this time, but I guess Sure has fuller brows than me, so my brows are almost non-existent. Well, it's there, but and yeah, just do like feather-like strokes. I guess that's what it's called. But yeah, I just do it that way. And then on the tail, I go a little heavier than I would at the beginning. Okay, just on the fair, so my head doesn't go right. Okay. I usually just go in with these two concealers because this one is too dark, of course. The cocoa, so I just do a mix of these two because these concealers are kind of thick, so they go in, they double as like concealing your face and then setting your brows and using it as an eyeshadow base. Jack of all trades, it does everything. Okay, so usually with cleaning, like just clean up the brows, I usually start at the arc first and then I go on to do the rest. The arc. And especially because we did the face first, when you're cleaning up the brows and like doing the eyeshadow, try not to be messy. So just try to do a little at a time. And of course, have like a blending brush handy because if you're doing brows after, you want to be as careful as possible because you're not going to be able to clean off and then do your face. So usually as I'm going, I get like a blending. You use this for eyeshadow, but I just use it for blending out my concealer and stuff. So on the eyes, it does a really good job at blending. Really good job. And with blending, do it in circular motions. It definitely does help. We're gonna do the other brow. You know when people say they have a favorite brow? I have a favorite brow for chills. I prefer this brow. Well, I've only done a makeup once, but I definitely had a purchase for this one. The other one.
Oh, is it because it's just easier?
Yeah, it's easier to would say. Just blend it out. And usually I don't blend it, I actually just tap it in. I mean, while also blending it out, but because I want it to actually be on there, like sit on there.
Okay, so for eyes, what did I wanted something like I like very like neutral tone, but a little bit of sparkle in the eye. Like that's like what I always do if I'm going for not dramatic, but like something dressy, I guess, on the eyes. I just do like nude, very sparkly.
That's my go-to anyways,
Yeah.
so just perfect. And basically we'll just be using this Technique palette. As you can see, it's just a palette with a bunch of like brown, nudes, oranges, pinks, and like goldish. So just like a neutral tone palette. Well, the pink doesn't make a neutral tone, but
Yeah, but like
Yeah.
pretty solid colors
Yeah.
as well. What shade did I choose? Was it this one?
we went in with this shade here, and then this shade to darken up a little bit, and then we went in with this really dark shade to what do you call it? Define the crease. And then for the sparkle, we went in with this. So it's this Essence Daily Dose of Power palette. I got it at the drugstore. It's Essence. And we went in with this shade. And we lightened it, and I just lightened it a little bit with this pink goldish. I don't know what to call it, but it's gold. But it has like a pink. But there was mostly this color that we brightened up with that one. So pretty much just 4 shades of 5 of those.
Which is so crazy because I only picked out 2. I don't know how Auntie ended up doing 5 on my eye, but it looks so good.
Yeah, so yeah, of course, I mean this part is pretty good, but we go in with this shade right now first. This one here. So this orange. It's kind of orange brown brick. Like a brick orange kind of color. Brick, yeah. Call it. And I just take a lot. I'm guessing I just blend that kind of like all over. Not all over, but pretty much the whole. This is what people call a transition color, I guess. So, all these terminologies, I just know that it's the color I like to go in whenever I do my eyeshadow looks. So.
Do you watch makeup videos?
Well, I used to indulge a lot before, not so much now. But before, definitely.
I try to sit through it because sometimes some things just not your interest.
Unless I'm actually looking specifically like how to do something. Like when I was still learning how to do makeup properly, like I'd watch a lot of like Jackie. Yeah. And oh my god, another person I love watching is like by Baby. I don't know if you know her. She's a UK like YouTuber, makeup artist, whatever. She always does like neutral, like new colors like this. So I just love her makeup.
Where was she the one that just got married?
So like I said, this is a transitional color, so we pretty much just put that one all over. Like this is the only shade that probably put like, yeah, a lot on. And then I just put that lower down here, put the other. I mean, usually people will tell you not to use the same brush for your eyeshadows. Well, you shouldn't, but most of the colors I use are very similar. Unless like when I'm putting with like the really dark ones, I use a different brush, but the colors I use are pretty similar, so I tend to get it. But I mean, If you're using different colors in your eyes, definitely use a different brush. Because if not, you'll be getting a different color than what you want to put on. Like, as you can see, I'm just not like, unless you're trying to build a color, just like tap it in, but I'm trying to blend it out. So blending is really important, especially with eyeshadow, because you don't want there to be harsh lines for you to actually see where the eyeshadow starts and stops. Really not nice. So it's really dark. And I just put that like at the corner, right? Just at the corner. Just deepen the crease just a little bit. So you actually see the definition. So just at the corner there. And at this corner as well. That way when you actually cut the crease and like blending the glitter eyeshadow, you actually see the definition. If I'm trying to make the glitter or whatever shadow I'm putting on the lid stand out, I just put like a tap of concealer, like nothing much at all. Because if you put much, you're just gonna ruin it. So just like tap. Sometimes I do it with my hand. You can just do it with the brush. Just tap, actually, just a little. Nothing much at all. Right now we're going in with that shade, like I said, so just that gold bronzy shade, and just take it on with the brush and tap it in. So that's what's actually, don't brush it over, like tap it in. Of course, like I said, just to brighten it up a little bit, I just go with this one here. And just a little of it, just because we still want that original color to still be there, not washed off. And I just put it in the middle, so I don't spread it out across the area, just in the center. And just define the crease again, just right above the line where the color is. So, and just a little, like I don't pack as much as I did the first time. Okay, and then the last part is I go back in with the transition color, so that orangey color. And then just blend out everything again. Okay, perfect. Pretty much done with the eyes, I'd say. I got like 58. 58 is too dark.
I literally got this powder because of Brandy too. Because I was looking for, like, I literally don't order like foundation powder online without testing it. But then I said I'll Brandy use it, so I'm like, okay, let me just try this.
Yeah, it's mine. Look at this. Hit the pan. It's been serving me. I think I got this like 2016. So since 2016.
Mark is good.
Yeah, 2016. I remember. I'm just going on the Do You Want to Look Up. And then I'm just going with the powder. And then we just go like over everywhere we put concealer and like setting powder already. That's usually what I do. I love doing people's lashes because doing my lashes are a nightmare. So pretty much I just usually put down the middle part first and then put on the sides. Just on the lash line there. Two shades of lipstick. Okay, so first, of course, we're gonna line the lips. Gonna line the lips. Sephora. So yeah, this is a Sephora lip liner. I love it. It's not as dark as I'd want it to be, but then it's pretty dark. It's a Sephora lip pencil in 17 molasses. I think that's how it's pronounced. So don't really overline lips, but I like to draw on the actual like lip line. So people draw like below the line, people draw above. I just like to draw on the line. One time I tried to draw and I was like a fool, like a clown. Like, oh God, one thing I like to do is I like to kind of like shade the lips with the lip liner. More brown, so you can see the difference in the shades. This one's brown, yeah, so brown, and then this like peach pink color. So we're gonna use both of them.
But you're not gonna lie, the last time we fixed this eyelashes a couple days after, I literally had a reaction, but I don't know if it's because of the eyelash glue or the glue. Yeah, so I hope it doesn't happen again because it was brutal. I kept watching this itchy. Okay, taking a risk for y'all.
Okay. So first, I go with the really brown one first. It's like a brown. I haven't worn makeup since. Usually I'll just clean it off.
Sorry. Sorry.
Put your lips together, just like that. And usually to finish it off, I will just go back in with the lip liner to just define the lip a little bit more. And this lip liner is just like what, $12?
Like it, sorry.
Buy MAC lip liner now. It's $30 Okay. This is the Morphe setting spray, continuous setting mist. Yes. Yeah. So good. It makes your makeup, it doesn't mattify your makeup, so I love it. And it also makes your makeup stay in place as well, so kind of keeping it. Okay, and then perfect. I will just do just a quick, just brush up the brows one last time. Make sure the brows are placed. But lastly, mascara, just blending the lashes. Four lashes together. So yeah, I just usually do one last, just blending the natural lashes into false lashes, blush. Yep, and pretty beat up, just a little. Smile. So yeah, just smile and then put that in. It's not a really dramatic blush, so that's why I'm pretty good. And after, you can decide to set your face or not. It's just blush. And bear in mind, if you want your blush to stay on all day, blush is usually one of the things that actually wears off first when you wear makeup. So for me, go a little bit harsher, like more, basically. And then we'll just do one last set. Yep, this one just light this time. Voila, actually.
We're done! Oh my god, right? So we're done, guys. This is my graduation makeup look made by Anjola. Thank you so much for doing this, guys. I hope you guys learned a couple, tips and tricks to doing your makeup. I definitely learned something. But yeah, if you guys like how we achieve